folks, welcome to the video. This is Hardly Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at Alien Fireteam Elite, and this is going to be my Demolisher build. Now this build is my fun build. It's much more to do with just blowing things up, and I like using the rockets, so I'm not a blast guy. I like using my rockets, so without further ado, let's just get stuck into the build. So first things, as you can see, I am using the Ballista Fletcher rifle as my primary. The reason I'm using this is because it gives my Demolisher some really powerful long range damage, which is actually ironically where the Demolisher kind of is weak at really long range. This is a really nice backup for me, at least. I really like it. If you guys have ever played any Division games, I used to play a lot of Hunter's Faith. So I can genuinely consistently get headshots, which is what you want to be getting. And how I've set the Ballista up here is I've got on the Precision Hider, which gives me extra stability and extra weak point damage, which I'm stacking as much as I can. And I've got armor piercing rounds as my magazine. It changes out, I don't know. It's just generally speaking, if I'm shooting things at long range, it's usually like the heavies that, for instance, like the heavy weapons, like they seem to struggle taking out the heavies, ironically. But yeah, a couple of headshots usually does the trick. And then lastly, I'm using a digital scope, which you kind of should be using on all your guns. The reason I'm using this is it doesn't have a scope. I don't know about you guys, I hate using scopes in games. I like to see the full map, what's going on. But again, guys, just play with these. Don't go with what people tell you is the best, because it all depends on your playstyle. If you want to set range, you might want something different. If you want to get up and close, you might want something different. So just play with it, guys, see what you like. So that's the Ballista there. Moving on to this. Now, this is my favourite of the heavy weapons. It is the M12 RPG Launcher. Now, this is a one-shot magazine, but as you can see, it is very strong, 2,250 base damage, and it's it's fast firing, it's fast reload. It's it's really nice. When I got this, I tried it out because I'd had bad experiences with the other grenade launchers, and I loved it. And then what I've set this up with is the phosphorus munitions, 25% chance on kill to leave behind a small fire patch. This helps with area of effect damage. This gun here doesn't have as much area of effect as, say, the rocket launcher, so that just kind of helps offset that a little bit. I've also put on the progressive rifling. The reason I've done this is a little bit of fire rate and stability is okay. Fire rate doesn't actually do anything with this gun because it's a one-shot magazine, but stability is always handy. The reason I've done it is deal 10% extra damage to enemies with full health. Now, you're going to be shooting things far away, so that's basically just a 10% damage buff, which, considering I'm doing 2,250 damage, that puts me up to 250 damage because I'm getting 250 free damage. I think that's right. Probably not. This is quite early in the morning, guys, so yeah, it's just free damage. That's what I'm using. But there's always other options. The one that slows is quite nice, but the thing is, most enemies don't survive one hit from this, so there's no point slowing an enemy if it's dead. So that's it. And then lastly, I'm using the deep railed armature. I'm using this on pretty much all my heavy weapons. It's reload speed and max ammo, which is always handy. And reload speed is actually quite important for this gun, just because it's got one-shot magazine, which is weird, but it's really nice. It's better, I think, than the impact grenade here. As you can see, it's almost double the damage. In fact, it is double the damage if I'm using that attachment. The only difference is obviously the impact grenade's got more ammo, more magazine capacity. But it kind of depends. If you're accurate, I'd recommend this one. Stay away from this thing. Like, I leveled it and then I'm never going to use it again. Oh god, the grenades bounced everywhere, like everywhere, but you didn't want anywhere, but where you wanted them to be. You could also use this build if you wanted to with like the smart gun, because that's really good at long range, and that's really strong. Actually, I really like smart gun. It's a lot of fun. It's probably best to use that in intense. I would not use this in intense, because if you hit anything remotely close by, you are going to die, as is everyone in your team if they're close by. So yeah, maybe if you're using intense, guys, use a smart gun. If you do use a smart gun, the setup I'd recommend for that would be the extended flash hider. This works beautifully with this gun. Increases the effective range, not really that important, but triggers a small thermal explosion on weak point hit. That's not got any cooldown, and this has got a huge fire rate, so you could potentially just be continuously proccing that. And then I put on stability and handling from the Miller twist rifling, which is 20% chance on hit. Enemies are slowed. That's actually really nice for this gun. And then lastly, again, deep veiled armature. But as I said, I like my grenade launcher. So that's my weapons, guys. Moving on to the build itself. As you can see, I have gone quite heavily into my rockets here, which gives me 75% extra radius and 55% extra recharge speed. Now that, including quick and dirty, means that I've got my rockets almost pretty much whenever I want them, which is really strong. Because remembering, guys, ability damage doesn't count towards friendly fire, only weapon damage does. So the enemies get close, and you can just immediately hit the entire enemy army with this. This is the thing, everyone's telling you to build into Blast Wave to do that, because you can build Blast Wave in such a way that you can basically get it back 100% of the time. But it does no damage, whereas this does. And I can have this back in about 10 seconds, and that can clear entire maps, whereas this can only knock things down, where this can clear maps and knock things down. So that's why I've gone for rockets, but you know, teach that one. And what I've done with this, I've put on bigger and better, which is a Demolisher only perk. I've put on the loud and clear, which is again a Demolisher perk, and I have put on the maximum reach and maximum recharge, and then I put on the rapid deployment. And then lastly, I put on the two ones here. Now these ones here, I believe you can only get these by doing horde modes. Most of the stuff I just picked up during the game, so I'm not 100% sure where I got it all. I believe the level 2s you can only get in horde, which you have to get to wave 10 to get these. But if you haven't got them, you could just maybe pop some more weapon mods or something like that in now. I've also put on downrange. Now, the way this game works is once you've leveled a class up to maximum level, its universal perks that are unlocked now become available to all classes. So this downrange is a recon perk, and what this does is increases your far distance damage by 20%. Considering this build is all about far range damage, I'm now doing a flat extra 20% damage, and it also says that means that I'm doing more damage now than I would up close. So basically, it's you know, if I'm hitting people, the only thing is, and I've asked on the Discord and I've asked on the Reddit as well, that actually has some clarification as to what far distance is, and no one's actually been able to give me a decent answer yet. But I'm assuming it's basically about anything about 50 meters or so, maybe 100 meters. But you could switch this out for something else, but I like it for this build because it's all about long range. Lastly, I put on the Demolisher heavy training here, increases the max ammo of heavy weapons by 20% and the reload speed by 15%, which is always handy. And then lastly, the Demolisher heavy expertise, which is really nice, increases the radius of heavy weapons by 15% and damage of heavy weapons by 10%. I reckon this is probably the best force multiplier modify perk in the game, because it's a flat extra base damage, an extra 10% damage plus radius. It's a really, really nice perk. And as I said, the last one I have to put down here is quick and dirty. Whenever the clear the room expires, your ability cooldowns are reduced by 1 second for each stack that was lost. Now, considering I am using this as well, loud and clear, basically for every one enemy I hit, I get 2 clear the room stacks. I can get up to 25. Is it 20? Yeah, or is it 15? I can't remember if it's 15 or 25. I think it's 25. But basically, once the clear room's finished, that will be back immediately. You probably don't even need as much recharge speed as I've got on. You can change that out for something else. But I would recommend building into the rockets. It seems to be a much better overall kind of thing. You can maybe take out some of the quick charge and put in some more survivability mods if you want to take this into higher difficulty and use a smart gun. But that's something you're going to have to decide on yourself. So that's it, guys. That is the build. I'll show you the grenade launcher firing. It's weird because you fire a full magazine, if you can see that. You fire a full magazine. I don't know if this is maybe just like an animation that they've reused, but yeah, it's weird. But I really like this class. The only thing with the Demolisher is when you started killing everything in the map, more than once I've had people just quit the game, especially if it's a host, and it's really annoying because it means we all lose the time. But that's it, guys. That is my Demolisher build. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're enjoying the game, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.